Are any of you going to argue that geometric mosaic animals are just cool? I mean, maybe not as cool as me doing a voiceover for the introduction while I'm unashamedly checking out my face in the viewfinder, but they're cool. I'm going to give you an art hack today of how you can easily figure out the geometric proportions of any animal you want. Choose any photograph or silhouette of an animal. It doesn't have to be void of pictures behind it like this elephant. It just needs to show all the outline of the whole animal. Then take something pointy. I'm using my awl. I like how fine tip the point is, and I like the handle on the end. It's a nice shape from a palm. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to find all the points on your animal where the perimeter changes or curves or bends, and you're going to poke holes and put your cardboard underneath so that you don't ruin your floor or whatever. Just gives it a nice cushioned thing to poke into. Have at it. Poke holes through all the points of dramatic change. Wasn't that fun? I mean, come on. Okay, once you poked all the holes around the silhouette of your animal, turn it over. You see we've got a nice dot-to-dot picture there. This would probably be a good way to make coloring books too. Anyhow, you heard it here first, folks. Then grab your canvas, figure out where exactly you want your animal to end up being, and then you're going to take your pencil, anchor your paper down with whatever hand you're not writing with. I like the mechanical pencils because it's got the really thin lead, but it can be annoying when it breaks. Anyway, so anchor the paper down, and then you're going to draw little dots in each hole. The lighter the better, because you're going to end up painting over it or erasing it or whatever. I'm doing it a little bit darker, as you'll see, so that you can see it, but try to go as lightly as possible. Okay, finish it up. There's your outline, as you can see. If you can see it. Oh, never mind. Moving on. Grab your duct tape. I'm using Frog Tape brand. It's pretty expensive, but I think it's worth it because the lines end up a little bit cleaner. Okay, peel a strip of tape. Try your best not to touch it as much as possible. I am just pinching the very end. And then you want to anchor it down on something, a table or a chair. I'm anchoring it on my tripod, which is a little out of the shot and you can't see it. And then you're going to cut off the surface, again touching it very little. You don't want your oil to go on the adhesive part, because the more of your body oil that goes on it, the less likely it is to stick nicely. So now I am cutting strips. This will be the outline of my animal. Now, I'm not too worried about them being exactly the same size, and that's because I like the variance in sizes. But if you want to measure that out, go for it, dude. I'm just eyeballing it. After you have cut yourself little pieces, I like to have them ready. Now you get to play dot to dot with them on your canvas. This can get a little tricky as you're trying your best not to touch the tape as much as possible. Obviously you have to touch a little bit, but I like to use my scissors as much as I can to avoid touching it. Also try to avoid peeling it back off and repositioning it, peeling it and repositioning it. Again, way easier said than done. The more you do it, the easier it gets, but As you can see, I just discarded the tape I was about to lay down because I felt like I had touched it too much, which I do a lot throughout this process. Now you want to line up the tape as you connect the dots. See, I just had to get myself another one. And I'm snipping the ends to make sure that the edges line up with each other and there's not excess corners of tape hanging out. I want it to look like a continuous line. I don't want it super choppy. So yeah, just make sure that nothing's hanging over. Then go and connect all those dots. Now we're going to take thin strips of tape and we're going to connect the dots inside of the elephant. Now you can get as meticulous or mathematical as you want about this. I'm just doing it randomly. Some people like to make sure every shape is a triangle, which can have a really cool effect. I don't really mind. I just want to make sure that every single point on my animal is connected to another line. Not necessarily another point, just another line. So whether that's in the middle of the line or at the point where the line ends, just as long as every point has a line connected to it. I'll just lay down and snip off this last piece and we're done. A geometric animal. You can do this to any animal, really any shape you want. I've also got other ideas of painting geometric animals. I've also got other tutorials of how to I've also got other tutorials of ideas of how to paint geometric animals, as you see here. So check those out. You can check out my playlists. I'll put a playlist up there for you.